What's up, friends? Oh boy. My name's Aaron Ciotti. Everybody calls me Ciotti. You can call me Captain James Holden. Captain of the Restaurante. Welcome to Whoop Wednesday. We're going to talk all about the proper Mobula 7 ELRS modifications tonight. And how you can turn it from 0 to hero with no soldering iron. I'm a YouTuber. Believe it or not, this is my full-time job. If you'd like to support me on this crazy journey that is full-time FPV, head on over to CiottiFPV.com and click all the buttons. Patreon helps me out the most. It's the closest thing that I have to a paycheck. For as little as $3 a month, you can join my Patreon. You're going to get audio versions of the live streams. You're going to get access to the Discord server with a whole bunch of like specific text channels that you're going to really dig. You're going to get access to a playlist here on YouTube with almost 90 Patreon-only streams, half-done edits, rough cuts, sketchy stuff that I don't want public. Lots of other good stuff going on over on Patreon. There's also tiers for giveaways. Every other Monday I do a whole bunch of giveaways. So the $5, $10, $20 and up dollar tiers will get you a little bit of gambling, which is fun. There's also an Etsy store with a bunch of really fun stickers. There's a Fiverr page if you want to work directly with me, one-on-one. Just did one today. And there's a Teespring store where you can get t-shirts and mugs and hats and all kinds of other fun stuff. And then there's a whole bunch of affiliate links there too. If you're doing orders on Amazon for anything at all, Get FPV, FPV Crate, FPV Cycle, and a whole bunch of other websites, if you hit my affiliate link before you check out, or if you switch your bookmarks over to my affiliate links, yeah, you won't even have to worry about it. I don't remember to use my own affiliate link, so I literally just did a Get FPV order the other day and I forgot to use my own affiliate link. So, yeah, you know. In the chat, Riot9 was first, Chris, Sci-Eye, Grizz FPV, Spurton, Riot9, Dan Richmond, Michael Honeychuck, Northern Tier, Ian, Paul McDonald, Razzie B, Productions, News Inns FPV, Carbon Cage, Glenn Burnett, FPV Trucker License to Drive 661, Aber the Ham, North 49, Thurberg 2500, Mothy, Reed in the Wind. Reed in the Wind is actually who I had a Fiverr session with earlier today. I'm gonna leave it there because YouTube just did the thing. If you want the gangly man to read your name, you gotta get in early. You gotta say something. If you want to talk directly to me, all you gotta do is type CiottiFPV. When you do that, it lights up in orange like this. You can put an @ in front of it if you'd like, but you don't have to. If you tag me, I'll assume that you're. If you tag me, you're talking to me. If you don't tag me, I'm not going to read your comment because I'm assuming that you're talking to each other. The people in the chat are brilliant. They also hang out over on the Discord channel. This community is just outrageous. Such a good group of people. You're missing out if you're not on the Discord or hanging out here in chat because there's some really smart people. So if you have questions, feel free to ask them in the chat. There's people that will probably answer them correctly. You can absolutely tag me, but yeah, I mean, if you don't want to tag me, just use the chat. OG folks, if you see somebody ask a good question that should get talked about, do me a favor, and they didn't tag me, do me a favor, copy it, paste it, tag me, tag them, and we'll talk about it. So, yeah, this is a Q&A stream, so feel free to light the chat up with any questions that you guys have. Try to keep them Whoop related, that, you know, Whoop Wednesday and all. So yeah, we're gonna talk about. I've already done all of the modifications to get this Mobula 7 ELRS flying as good as it can. The reason that we're doing this tonight is I pulled. So if you guys have been watching for the past like month. I've been flying this a lot, I've been tuning this a lot, building this a lot, upgrading this a lot, and this is right here is sort of its final form. My next step for making this fly better was going to be to take it out of the 75 mil motor-to-motor frame and put it into a 65 mil motor-to-motor frame, because the 65 millimeter rigs are just naturally going to be a lot lighter weight. The motors are better matched to those propellers. They just fly better, and they crash better. I tore this all apart last night. I soldered on a BT 2.0 lead to use the smaller batteries, and I went to put this AIO into a cockroach frame, and it wouldn't fit. That's what she said. I then went to put it in a Meteor 65 frame, and it wouldn't fit in there either. Happy Model with this Mobula 7 ELRS AIO, apparently they've oversized it. The big problem is the camera plug, but the entire AIO is just oversized a little bit. And yeah, it doesn't really fit in any other frames that I can find. I didn't try a lot of frames, but this is kind of the only frame that it fits in. So I put the damn thing all back together, and I resoldered on the PH 2.0 lead, and yeah, that's my life. But that's okay. This is going to not necessarily get flown a lot, but this is going to be like a nice little test bed rig for motors. So I'm not totally angry. It's fine. So yeah, but we haven't really had like a recap of all the upgrades that I've done to this. So we're gonna take a minute to actually, let's just launch. Let me get caught up on chat, and then we're gonna launch right into that. GrizzFPV says, "How goes it?" FPV Trucker says, "What's cracking?" Abraham says, "What's up?" Abraham sent me a little care package here with some really cool stuff that we're gonna talk about in a minute as well. Reading the Wind says, "What up, collective? Thank you for today. Do you have 3D prints for the Cinesplore? I need one for the Nebula Nano Pro." Nebula Nano Pro, you're gonna get the over on Pyrodrone. They sell camera mounts. You don't want the camera mounts that are, so the Cinesplore is gonna come with camera mounts that will probably work. But they're gonna, like, if this is the front standoffs, they're gonna sit like that. And for the Nebula Nano, they're gonna kind of tuck in like this, which is fine. You can get mounts that the TPU is thicker like this. I buy them from Pyrodrone. You can probably find them on Thingiverse. And then Brain 3D is where I get my Cinesplore like GoPro mounts. Just a GoPro mount, really. So yeah, there you go. The Cinesplore mounting pattern is shared with the New School Glide top plate and the Cineglide front plate as well. So there you go. Envy the Bird says, "Hey," Hay. Glenn Burnett says, "Hi, Captain Gangley." Michael Blade FPV says, "What's up?" Glenn Burnett says, "Any thoughts on the new gyro float? Do you use any stabilization on your cinematic gigs?" So Reed and I were actually talking about this today. I have not watched NERC's definitive guide to gyro flow. I probably won't, because I just don't really have a reason to use gyro flow. The Insta360 Go 2, Bot Grinder actually posted a comparison of the Insta360 Go 2 using the Insta360 software versus gyro flow, and the Insta360 software was way better. As it should be, right? Like, the company that makes the camera makes the software. So when I fly my Insta360 Go 2, I'm just going to use their software, right? Real Steady Go is phenomenal. And I cannot possibly imagine a world where gyro flow will be as good as Real Steady Go. Not to mention that the workflow with gyro flow is going to be way longer than Real Steady Go. Real Steady has been working on their software for like 5 years. It's it's like a commercial product. Like, they're making money off of it. Gyroflow is a free product. So when I'm shooting with a Hero 6 or a Hero 8 or a 9 or a 10, it's going to go into Real Steady Go. If I had a Hero 7, I would be more interested in gyro flow. But, I mean, I don't. And I don't have... So for NERC, gyro flow makes a lot of sense because he films with bigger, medium format cameras. Red Komodo, Ari, Black... you know what I mean. Bigger cameras than GoPros. I do not. So for me, gyro flow... You know what I mean? I just don't have a reason to use it. And I don't do stuff here on the channel just to jump on the hype train. You know, like, I don't just review stuff that I don't have an interest in, because that's not a good review. You know, like, Like if I'm going to review something, I want to be interested in it so that I have some skin in the game, so to speak, right? So yeah, I just don't have a reason to use GyroFlow. It looks really good now from a UI standpoint. But yeah, I just don't have a reason to use it. So I probably won't talk too much about it or use it until I go to a bigger camera, which might not ever happen. I would love to stay on GoPros for cinematic stuff. The question about do you use any stabilization on your cinematic gigs? Absolutely, 100%. That is built into the cost of that is built into my fee that I charge. Any cinematic gigs, in my opinion, you always want to use. You always want to give the editor the raw footage and the stabilized footage. I would much rather them use the stabilized footage because it pretty much always looks better. But it also typically makes a lot more sense for what they're doing. So yeah, if you're going to do cinematic gigs, you need to have a workflow in place for either gyro, at the very least GyroFlow, but I really think that you should shell out the $100 for Real Steady Go because it's just phenomenal. B-Man says, what's up? License to Drive says, what's the smallest cam and VTX for a 1S Whoop there is? I want to put one on a 1/76th scale RC car. I have to assume it would be one of the all-in-one little VTX camera, the little old-school rectangular ones. It's got to be that. And I've seen those tiny little 1/76th scale cars with that little thing on top. So I would just pick one of those up. You can get them on, like, Amazon or whatever. I used to know the numbers and the names of all of them, but I mean, if you just go to Amazon and search for like camera and VTX, I'm sure it'll be in there. ICFPV says, oh my god, just did a sneak peek at Real Steady V2. That's pretty cool. I watched Nurk's sneak peek. Real Steady V2 looks pretty wild, pretty impressive. Glenn Burnett said, we got that. Oh no, it's just a comment saying the same thing. Chomper FPV's in the house. What's up, dude? Greg Womack says, would putting pitchier props in the rear be helpful with turbulent air? It might, Greg, but it's going to introduce a whole bunch of other problems. Namely, it's going to introduce a situation where typically more pitchy props are heavier, almost always. And that's going to be a problem because now the response time in the rear motors is going to be different than the response time in the front motors. The PID loop runs at 4,000 to 8,000, 4,000 or 8,000 cycles a second. So it's going to be able to handle that, but it's still not a great scenario in my opinion. I would love it if there was a semi-scientific way of testing that, but there really isn't. Because in the air, and I mean, there's going to be a host of other problems, like the way that the air comes into the propellers in different angles. The more pitchy props are going to handle that differently. It's just going to introduce a bunch of nonsense that I doubt that the slight improvement in the fact that the rear props get slightly more turbulent air would net positive gains. You know what I mean? There'd be one positive and a whole bunch of negatives. All that being said, I could totally be wrong. The aerodynamics that goes on these rigs when they're flying through the air is just absurd. I mean, typical propeller design, the air comes in and it gets pushed out, right, on an airplane. There's a little bit more to it than that, but mainly, yeah, they're sitting up like this, and then the air comes straight in and goes straight through. We are just in all different orientations all the time, moving in different speeds, and we've got prop guards or ducts or arms at least. It's just the aerodynamics that go on our rigs are pretty wild. So yeah, in the real world, maybe it would make it better, but I doubt it. Is my thought process there. Ramdago says, so guess the new GoPro range will be like a Runcam 5 DJI 2. Hope everyone's good. I don't know what that means, Ram. Hey! I just love it so much. That's from Mighty Car Mods. They are geniuses. Go watch them. You're going to love them. Best channel on YouTube. Aber the Ham sent me some stuff and a nice little note. He sent a door... What did he call this? A non-lethal doorstop. Because why not? He sent me... I'm probably going to use these, actually. A couple of toothpick... Tiny Whoop battery mounts, which is pretty slick for 2S. These are kind of cool. A Starbucks gift card because he's never going to use it. And the star of the show is he created. This is the Gemfan prop locket. And my only complaint about this thing is if I have this in my flight bag, it's kind of stabby. This is a 1mm motor shaft here, and this is kind of like stabby. So Aber designed these little covers in a whole bunch of different lengths, and yeah, they fixed that problem. So the only thing I don't know if Aber is gonna. I hope he puts these up on like Thingiverse or something because they're just awesome. The only feedback I gave him is this bottom, the flat part here, is a little bit thin. When I put this on the first time, the motor shaft stabbed right through it. So, like that. See, it just stabs right through it. So, yeah, but he'll fix that, I'm sure, because I'm sure that's like a 1 second fix. So the smallest one, once that fix. Nah, the smallest one's not the one, Aber. So this short one is no good. The second up, this is the one for this side of it. You can kind of see it there. You're going to have good engagement. So with this one, it slides on there really nicely, and that's awesome. So this second size is the perfect size for this side of the little prop locket. And then for the other side, so it's not the next size up. The next size up is a little bit too short. But then the next size up after that is the right size for the back of this thing. It goes over like that, and there's a good amount of engagement there. And then, yeah, the thing is not... So this can now hang out in your bag and not stab shit or scratch shit. You know, there's like GoPros floating around in your bag or like a little screen or something like that. This prop locket is the best way to pull these Gemfan 1.6-inch props with these two little holes. I'm not going to show you how it works. I did that on the little unboxing a couple of live streams ago. This thing is awesome. This thing is really good. Admittedly, it doesn't have 1,000,001 uses. It's kind of specific for these smaller 1.6-inch propellers. The 1.2, it requires the little T-mount holes in order to work. So the 1.2-inch propellers for 65mm tiny whoops, it won't work on those. It'll only work on these 1.6-inch props for the 75mm tiny whoops. It'll also work on 2-inch props. But then, like, once you get up to 2.5-inch props, we don't have this problem anymore where the props are hard to get on and off. So this is a pretty specific tool for these 3-blade and 4-blade Gemfan 1.6-inch propellers. But in this use, this thing is great. It works really, really well. A must-have tool for sure if you've got 75mm whoops. If you're going to build a tiny lifter like this, get yourself one of these. I don't think you can actually buy these yet, but whenever you're able to buy them, get yourself one, because these props are a bastard to pull off of here. And you'll just ruin your fingers. So, yeah. If we have time tonight, I'm going to be soldering on some JST 1.0 motor plugs to these in place of these JST 1.25s on these Happy Model 0802s with the 1.5 mil motor shaft, because these motors are going to be what goes onto this lightweight tiny lifter, as well as a singularity antenna and an ELRS receiver. So yeah, if we get time, we'll dig into that. But I'm gonna get caught up on chat, and then I'm going to talk about the upgrades that you want to do to your Mobula 7 ELRS to get it flying a little bit better. Did I get everything? I think I got everything. All right, cool. In the chat, 661 says, when you going to build that Mosquito XL? You have any 65mm props for it yet? Gemfan makes the only good 65mm bi-blades, obviously, LOL. So I have a prop hoarding problem. For the last 5+ years, I have been hoarding lots of 1.2 inch, 1.6 inch, 2 inch, 2.5 inch, 3 inch propellers. And I have pretty much all of them. I have a mug over here, a True RC mug, that is filled to the brim with like one of every micro prop. It doesn't actually. It has like one of every micro prop up until like 2 years ago, and then it got filled, and that was kind of that. But yeah, I've got tons of propellers. I looked at. I've tried to put this AIO into the Mosquito, the regular Mosquito frame last night, but if I run this AIO upside down, so it's got the motor plugs, right? So I have to run it upside down for the motor plugs and the USB, but then it's got the little ELRS antenna that's pretty tall, and that would be facing down, hitting the frame. So I would have to. So I would have had to space the AIO up a bunch, and it was just stupid looking. It makes much more sense to build one of those Mosquitoes with a newbie drone AIO, which I have some extras of. So the Mosquito will eventually get built, especially now that it's warmer out, but with as a newbie drone rig. So yeah, but yeah, I've got tons of 65mm propellers. What I don't have are appropriate when I do build the Mosquito, it's going to be the small Mosquito for 1.6 inch props, because I really don't have a set of motors at the moment that would be good for 65mm bi-blades. So yeah, I don't know if I'm ever going to build that Mosquito XL, because they're like, the whole 1.6 inch prop thing is interesting. Like it's a lot smaller than 3 inch. If I'm gonna build a toothpick, if I'm gonna build a toothpick bigger than this, it's not gonna be a 2.5 inch. It's gonna be a 3 inch. Like yeah, the Mosquito XL is interesting, but 2.5. Like if you're gonna do 2.5, you might as well go to a 3 inch. The total difference in size is pretty nothing. I'm using strange words tonight. Chomper FPV says, I saw them on Pyro Drone. Nice. Thank you for that, Chomper. Abraham says, I'll reinforce the bottoms, and if you tell me those shaft diameters and lengths, like in that shitty drawing I sent you, I can make them fit more tightly around the shafts too. Oh, the innuendos. Let me get you that real quick, bro. So it's a 1mm thick shaft. The short one is 1mm thick. No, it's not. It's 0.77 millimeters thick. So the little skinny guy is I guess that makes sense because they made this so it'll also work on 0.8. So call it 0.8. It's basically 0.8 thick. And the length is... it's roughly 5 millimeters long. And that's the short side. And then on the other side, it's just basically an Allen key. Which is 2 millimeters. And then the length is, I'm going to show it to you like this. So this thick part here is 5 millimeters thick. See the thick part that I'm measuring there? And then the shafty bit here, you probably just want the total length. I'll just give you the total length. Total length is roughly 17 millimeters long. Cool? Let me know if you need anything else. Thank you, dude. Very cool of you, Aber. Ian says, enhance. 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 All right. Michael D says, I agree about Mighty Car mods. I've been watching them for almost 2 years now. My first video was Marty's imported mirror that had to be cut in half. That was a fucking journey with that car. 661 says, you need the taller rubber grommets to put in the Happy Model AIO and a Mosquito to clear the camera plug and the longer screws. Yeah, I'm just going to build it with the newbie drone stuff. It just makes more sense to me, especially because it's a newbie drone frame. All right, cool. I'm caught up. So, Aber says, print them tonight. Get them out. Aber, just hang on to it. This is perfect for me, man. Don't waste any more postage. Yeah, this is great. Thank you, dude. Very, very cool of you. All right. So, yeah, let's talk about the Mobula 7 ELRS. I made a list. Guys, I made a list. And down in the description below, I put affiliate links. I put an affiliate link to Banggood, which is the only place that has this in stock. So if you want to buy a Mobula 7 ELRS, there's an affiliate link there for that. And then I put affiliate links to all of the upgrades that we're going to be talking about here in a second on both Amazon and GetFPV. So yeah. First and foremost, the first thing that I did was I moved it over to BlueJ, which you can install over at esc-configurator.com. If you just Google ESC configurator, you'll find it. And so the first thing I did is put BlueJ on it, and then it didn't work. When you flip, and maybe they've fixed this by now, but I doubt it. When you put BlueJ onto this, that is going to give you the default startup power. And that's not enough for this little fella. So, hold on, let me see if ESC configurator will even show up on this computer. Nope, it will not. Okay. But yeah, ESC configurator, and then you can flash all, and then one of the options is BlueJ. What you're going to need to do after you flash this to BlueJ is take both of the minimum and maximum startup power sliders, the very top two sliders, just rip those all the way to the right. I have to do everything backwards. Push those sliders all the way up to the right, both of them, and you'll be good to go. I also put 24K on this to give it a little bit more braking torque, and that did help out a little bit, but you can run this on 48. I would not recommend putting this on 96K. I don't really recommend putting anything on 96K because the performance gains are very small compared to 48, and it really hurts the braking. So 48 seems to really be the best bet. So yeah, BlueJ is the one free thing that you can do to this that is going to make a difference. BlueJ is really, really good ESC firmware. And I have a feeling that pretty much everything BLHeliS is going to be on BlueJ soon enough. So that's the first upgrade that you can do to your Mobula 7 ELRS and it's a free one. Can't beat free. The next upgrade that you can do is to get the stupid HQ propellers off of it and replace them with Gemfan propellers. Down below in the description is a link, 2 links, one to CiottiFPV, one to Amazon, for the 1.5 millimeter shaft blue Gemfan 1620? 1608? What's that say? 1610. The Gemfan 1610. I heard the sound, but nothing came up on the screen. Oh, I have it turned off. There we go. Who's that? I can't. Oh, and it's gone. Whoever just subscribed, thank you for subscribing. I wanted to do something. Hold on. Rando text. Oh, nope, that ain't it. Streaming. Oh, yeah, here. I wanted to do this. Subscribe and follow. CiottiFPV. How much space do I have? And baseballs. Fastballs. And I think that sub and follow. I saw it on somebody else's channel and they had it worded better. I'll look it up later, but I just wanted to, and I just gotta move it up. Oh my God, really? Come on now. Please! OBS, please! There we go. Yeah. Hey, there we go. Okay. Yeah, the Gemfan 1610 props are going to outperform the HQ props, and they're wonderfully well balanced. I don't understand how Gemfan got these bi-blades so well balanced, but they really did. First step, jack up your Mobula 7. Nice, right? That's a Mighty Car Mods joke. So yeah, propellers. That's going to be the cheapest mod that you can do if you spend some money. The next mod that you can do is a True RC. Well, no. Batteries, man, batteries. These GNB 380 mAh yellow label high volt batteries. These are the jam. They weigh 10 grams, so they're the lightest of the batteries. They're gonna fit in the little battery bay that this frame has. And they perform really, really well. So if you're going to get a Mobula 7 ELRS, get these batteries, in my opinion. The runtime is really good. We're going to fly 2 of these tonight in a little bit. So you'll get to see the runtime. And yeah, they work really, really well. They do sell these batteries with GNB 27 plugs on them. So that would actually be another upgrade that you could do that I have not done, is to get these 380 batteries with that plug and then switch it from PH 2.0 over to GNB 27. So that's another little upgrade that you could make. I'm not going down that road. I already have a couple of these batteries with PH 2.0, and I'm... You know, the performance of this, my issue with the performance of this thing is more with the weight than the power delivery. I would love to have a little bit of extra power, don't get me wrong, but it would still be too heavy. It would actually be heavier because the GNB 27 battery is heavier than, the connector rather, is heavier than the PH 2.0 connector. So yeah, I'm a bigger fan of the 65 millimeter whoops, specifically because they're lighter. It's a smaller propeller, a smaller frame, and to do the really hardcore freestyle stuff that I'm trying to do, every gram counts. As long as I don't lighten it up to the point where it suffers from durability problems, of course, as we always talk about. So yeah, this rig flies great. You guys will love the way that this rig flies. I'm just incredibly picky. Next thing is a TrueRC antenna. It's not an affiliate link to TrueRC, but that's fine. The only place that you can get this TrueRC antenna that will actually fit inside of the canopy is from TrueRC. It's called the Ultra Short. You'll see it in there. It's one of their singularity antennas, and yeah, you can put it on here, so the plug is up here, and then you're gonna put the wire sideways like that, and then you're gonna put a little bend in it, and if you do it just right, the antenna is all up in there, and it doesn't touch the AIO. There's a tiny little gap. There's no shot of you guys seeing that gap, but there is. If you look really close, there is a little gap between the antenna. And I mean, come on, like look how clean that is. It just looks like an upside down ball sack, you know what I mean? It's great. I love it. If you get this ultra short antenna, I asked Hugo in the notes, I said, hey Hugo, can you make this ultra short antenna even shorter by 3 to 4 millimeters, which he did. I wish I had told him 6, 7, or 8 millimeters shorter because it's still a little bit too long. If you, in your notes, if you say to him, hey Hugo, can you make this, your safe bet is going to be to say 6 millimeters shorter, but I think 8 or maybe even 10 millimeters shorter would make this antenna so that instead of having to have the wire go at an angle and then put a 90-degree bend in it, I think you'd be able to run the wire straight back and then just angle the little antenna. It would just fit ever so slightly better. This totally works, and this is totally fine, but as you can see, the head of the antenna is at a little bit of an angle. No big deal whatsoever, but if I ever order another one of these ultra-short antennas for one of these rigs, I'm going to tell them to make it 10 millimeters shorter, and I think that would make the antenna absolutely perfect and the absolute lightest it could possibly be. So there you go. That's and if you've never compared, why am I so bright? What's happening? Did this? I think this light changed. Hey, that's a little bit better. I like that a lot better, actually. Yeah, if you've never compared a whip antenna to a TrueRC Singularity antenna, it's wild. These antennas are so much better than the just the regular old shitty whip antennas. It's really like staggering the difference. So that's a real upgrade, man. That's like a real good thing to do there. And it's not going to cost a lot of money. I think they're $20. It's a lot of money for an antenna, but they're second to none. Now you got to spend some money. Those are the cheap mods. Propellers, batteries, which you have to buy anyway, and antenna. Now you're going to spend some money, and this is where you can really improve the performance of this rig pretty drastically. The batteries will make a big difference. The props will make a slight difference. The antenna will make a big difference in your video quality. But in terms of the performance of the rig, my biggest complaint right out of the box with this Mobula 7 is that it just doesn't have quite enough power. These Happy Model 0802 20,000 kV motors I love that they have a thicker 1.5 millimeter motor shaft, but they just don't have quite enough kV for these bi-blade propellers. And if you put tri-blade propellers on this, as we tested 2 weeks ago, I want to say, the tri-blade 1.6 inch propellers are just too heavy and too draggy for an 0802 motor. You really need an 0803 motor or an 1102 motor to really properly control those tri-blade props. So you need to go to a motor with more kV. I don't think the answer is going to an 0803 unless you really want to crank the power up. This rig being like 1S only, I think your best bet is to keep it on these bi-blades and keep the motors light. And so what you want to do is go to an 0802 25,000 kV motor. Links in the description to the two that I recommend. The Happy Model 0802 25,000 kV motors are going to be the most powerful, hands down. The only problem is they're a little bit more fragile because they have a two-piece bell design. There is a new generation of the Happy Model 0802 25,000s that has a one-piece bell design, but folks in the chat have been dealing with that new motor dropping magnets. Dropping a magnet is kind of worse than what happens to the old school Happy Model motors, which is that eventually, and it takes a while, eventually the ring around the magnets will start to drop down. You can just push it back up with your fingernails and you're good to go again. But slowly, if you continue to beat the hell out of them, it'll get to the point where it drops down like all the time, and like you'll be pushing it back up too often, and then you just fix it by replacing the motor. It's the old school Happy Model 0802 25,000s are amazing, and they are the most powerful 0802 motor that we've got access to right now. The other option that I put in there is the HGLRC Aerolis, or Areola, if you're a child like me, 0802 25,000s. They make a little bit less power, but they're a one-piece bell design, and they don't seem to throw magnets like the Happy Model one-piece bell designs are. Technically speaking, these TinyWhoop.com Zeus Juice 0802 25,000s, these would pretty much be identical, not identical, but these would give you about the same amount of power as the HGLRC motors, not quite as much power as the Happy Model motors. These are nice and durable. They're a one-piece bell. So these would be, but these are out of stock, and they're out of stock like a lot, very frequently. So I didn't bother putting these in there. When you switch to these, the only negative of moving away from the Happy Model 0802s is that you're going to lose the 1.5 millimeter motor shaft. So going to these higher performance, higher kV motors, you're going to go to a 1 millimeter motor shaft, and you're going to have to buy different propellers. So I put a link in the description to the 1 millimeter shaft version of these Gemfan 1610 propellers. This frame, this new Mobula 7 V4 frame, is really strong. And I'm kind of cautiously optimistic that we might not run into motor shaft problems because of how light this build is and how strong this frame is. Do not quote me on that. Like, maybe these 1 mil motor shafts are still not enough and they will start breaking, but I don't think that they will. I think, well, and bi-blades. With a bi-blade, 50% of the time when you hit something, the frame is going to take all the abuse and it's not going to put any of that energy into the motor. It's only the 50% of the time where the prop blade is going to be straight forward, where the duct pushes into the blade of the propeller, and that's what puts the energy into the motor, and that's what can potentially break or bend the motor shaft. So these Tiny Whoop motors are so rare that I'm not going to pound the shit out of this rig to do like durability testing to find that out for you. But I am going to do it on the HGLRC motors. I found Cyclone FPV has the HGLRC Areola 0802 25,000 kV motors in stock, so I bought an extra two. This one came from Pyrodrone. This one came from GetFPV. I don't know why they're completely different packaging. That seems super strange, but well, you know what? I haven't opened them. I hope they didn't change anything on the motor. Here, let's open these up. And that pretty much does it. Those are the upgrades that I think you should make to your Mobula 7 ELRS to take it from just kind of okay. Like, out of the box, it's fine. I'm not going to talk about tuning or filtering because it's not that bad. The tune is really aggressive, and most people won't really notice a difference to kind of like fine-tuning it. And the filters are pretty aggressive too, so the tune that it comes with, I'm okay with. So yeah, I don't really think it's worth it to spend your time PID and or filter tuning it. Just fly the damn thing and do these physical upgrades. You're gonna get a lot more bang for your buck out of these than pouring hours into trying to refine the tune. Because yeah, like I said, the tune is already pretty good that it comes with. Yeah. So, nah, these motors are the same. Super weird that it's different packaging. These are gorgeous motors. One-piece bell, really quality looking motors here. But I did hear from somebody in the chat Monday of this week, I want to say, that, yeah, these HGLRC motors make noticeably, not a lot, but a noticeable amount less power than the Happy Model 0802 25,000s. And that's the same thing that SR13 FPV, arguably the best freestyle tiny whoop pilot in the world. That's the same thing that he said about these tinywhoop.com Zeus Juice 0802 25,000 kV motors. There's just something magic, and I've heard this from multiple people. There's something magic about the Happy Model 0802 25,000s. They just make mad power. And I'm so I've had 2 sets of them on 2 different rigs. Now they're only on 1 rig, but my God, that rig makes serious horsepower. It's the Newbie Drone Acro B 65mm rig, the ultimate 1S freestyle tiny whoop, as I keep calling it. That rig is ridiculous. It's like 3-point-something grams heavier than the Mobula 6 ELRS. And it just doesn't care. It just outperforms it. It's got so much more power. At some point, I'm going to put a set of those Happy Model motors onto the Mobula 6, and that's going to be ridiculous. That's going to kind of be the ultimate 1S tiny whoop. But I'm spending a little bit more time with the 0702s because they're interesting. They're an interesting motor for sure. Hey, man, I gotta change the color of that. I just cannot. Well, wait, can I? What if I just make it bigger? I can do that in here, right? I can just make it a bunch bigger. There we go. That'll help. Now I just need to slide it over a little bit. All right, somebody that's not subscribed, do me a favor and subscribe so I can line that thing up. Necktrox with a $1.99 super chat. Thank you very much, brother. No comment. Just wanted to support the madness that is trying to be a full-time FPV pilot. Thank you, dude. Let me get caught up on chat here. So yeah, there you guys go. There is my, that is the upgrade path that I would take if I were buying a Mobula 7 ELRS. To be honest, you know, those upgrades don't cost all that much money, so maybe just get them all at the same time as when you buy the rig. But if not, yeah, Blue Jay first because it's free, propellers next because they're cheap, batteries next, you got to buy them anyway, antenna after that, and then motors and the new propellers. That would be the path that I would go on to get your Mobula 7 ELRS performing a little bit better. Cool? Any questions, leave them in the chat. Let me get caught up on the chat. Where are we at here? Hey, there we go. Oh, balls. There it is. Paul McDonald says, if you need help, Lenny, there's a 3D printing channel on the CiottiFPV Discord. There's a 3D printing channel over on my Discord. It's fun. Ram Donko says, build fiend. Am I a build fiend? Vampire says, what prop would you suggest for a 63mm 0802 18,500 kV? So 18,500 kV is very low, in my opinion. The 0802 25,000 kV motors are the way to go for sure. So if you can, my biggest suggestion would be to get those motors off of there. That being said, the answer to your question is the most pitchy, most bladed propeller that you can find. That's probably going to be a Gemfan quad blade. So yeah, but if you want to be specific, like just try to find all of the 4-blade propellers that there are and just look at the pitch of all of them. I can pretty much guarantee you that the Gemfan 4-blade is going to be the one with the most pitch. But there's a chance that there's a magical propeller on Banggood. I don't really look on Banggood anymore. But yeah, that's what you want to do. If you're going to stick with that low kV motor, in order to get the power back that you're missing from not having the extra kV, you just want as pitchy and, yeah, the most blades possible and the most pitch possible. The easy button is just to get the Gemfan quad blade, because 99% sure that that's the most pitchy, and 4-blade is all we've got. We've got 2-blade, 3-blade, 4-blade. I have actually asked Gemfan to do a 5-blade 1.6 inch and or 1.2 inch prop. I doubt that they'll do it, because that's like a super limited audience to that. But you never know. Family Guyver says, how about the iFlight Zing one-piece Bell 0802 motors? Are they decent? They are decent, but unfortunately they're only 22,000 kV. So, yeah, they just don't have quite enough RPM. What I do like about them is that they have a little bearing. They don't have the metal bushing. But you could actually, there's a chance that the little bearings are actually not great because they're not rated for a high enough RPM. So it's kind of a that's not a real thing, I don't think. Raviogi FPV says, why aren't more Roops direct solder since weight is so important? Wouldn't losing the plugs save grams? 1, it's a nightmare. 2, it's a nightmare. And 3, you guessed it, it actually doesn't save that much weight. Thought I was going to say it's a nightmare, didn't you? It only saves... Damn it. I knew it at one point. Don't quote me on this, but I want to say it's 0.4 of a gram that it only saves direct soldering the motors. You could argue that it delivers more voltage to the motors, but I don't know about that. Those connectors are pretty big and beefy. I would not be surprised if it really didn't make much of a difference. The biggest thing, though, is that it just sucks to direct solder motors onto a tiny whoop. It's really small, which makes it very easy to screw up and ruin the AIO, or just screw up and not be able to do it. But the other problem is that the serviceability of that tiny whoop just becomes awful, because the motors are like hard connected to the AIO, and depending on the frame, sometimes the motor won't fit through the hole of the frame. So in that case, what you have to do is put the motors and the wires through the frame, and then like balance the frame and the AIO and the motor, and then you have to solder it, and it sucks. It just sucks. And then, you know, when you crash tiny whoops pretty hard, you replace motors kind of, not frequently, but it just makes serviceability a total nightmare. So I do it out of necessity on the newbie drone Tiny Whoops because they use a proprietary plug. It's not actually proprietary, but nobody else uses it, so it's, you know, for all intents and purposes, it's priority. Priority? That's not the word. Proprietary, that's the word. By the way, if you think it's intensive purposes, you're wrong. It's intense. INTENTS and purposes. Don't say intensive purposes. Someone will hear you and they will judge the shit out of you. And that person will be me. Propped Up FPV says, hey bro. What's up, dude? There's Nectronics' super chat. Michael D says, I've been thinking about grabbing the newbie drone 0802 plaid motors. They're good. They're not quite high enough KV in my opinion, but they're good. If you want runtime or if you're into Tiny Whoop racing, they're going to be a really good choice. If you want to do the kind of ridiculous freestyle shit that I do, they're not going to have enough power for you. Basically, if you're running a motor that's like 18,000 or 20,000 kV, you've got like an OG Tiny Whoop where it's kind of two-dimensional. It goes forward, it goes backwards, it goes left, it goes right. It can change elevation, but it can't, like, you don't get any of the throw, so you can't do this, like the three-dimensional moves that we do with the bigger rigs, where you can do a big burst of throttle and then flip it on its side and do like a wall ride, or flip it inverted and look down at the ground and then wait until the last second, come down and then recover. You really need 25,000 kV motors to do that. The 22,000s are kind of somewhere in between, but I mean, if you're going to switch motors, get the 25,000 kV. If it's too much power, you go into Betaflight, you motor limit it down, and you're good to go. As you get better, you can start to creep that motor limit up. It is, I will admit, on a 65 millimeter Tiny Whoop with Gemfan tri-blades, BT 2.0, the three, you know, all the tricks, the 25,000 kV motors are a lot. They make the rig hard to fly. And you're probably gonna notice that unless you're a pretty seasoned pilot. But who cares? You motor limit it down to where you're comfortable. And then as you get better and better and better, you can kind of creep that number up. Whereas if you get 20,000 or 22,000, you can't do that. You're at 100% and that's that. So yeah, I really, really, really recommend, if you're going to do an 0802 motor swap, that you go all the way up to 25,000 kV. And if it's too much, you can turn it down. Ramdonko says, get on your Discord because I put some poop pics, as in drones, not actual poop pics. I'm intrigued, but Jesus. Vampire says, I also have 22,000 kV I can throw on, but it's mad fast for my small house. So yeah, just motor limit it down. Put the 22,000s on, motor limit it down, and Betaflight, it's in the PID tab, and you'll be good to go. You can also do it in the OSD. In the OSD, you go into Profile, and then it's in Miscellaneous PP, MISC PP. And it's called motor limiting. You turn it down from 100 to 90, see how it feels. Still too much, drop it down to 80, whatever. Dial it on in the OSD. Abraham says, I've direct soldered my motors back in the brush days, but yeah, all four plugs weighed 0.5 grams together, maybe 0.6 to 0.8 at most for the 3-pin plugs. There we go. Awesome. So I might have been a little, 0.4 is maybe a little bit. You know what? I bet you 0.4 grams is the female part of the plugs that are on the board. I bet you it's another maybe 0.4 grams for the part of the plug that's on the actual motor. So yeah, I mean, it'll do something, but my God, like, working on Tiny Whoops sucks ass to begin with. I'm not trying to do anything that makes that process any worse. But if you're willing to, you will get better performance. by direct soldering it, if you're brave enough. June Loco says the Mob Lite AIO has bigger motor pads. That's pretty cool. The V3 newbie drone AIO does as well. Even so, I mean, it still sucks, and there's still components, close to it, and it's not something that most people are going to want to do. If you're willing to do it, that's awesome. I actively try not to, because I'm hard on these rigs. I love the idea of being able to destroy a motor and just unplug it, 3 screws, good to go. Jackalope says it's actually intents and porpoises. There you guys go. Brian Jarvis says, I'm going to the Whoop Race in Dayton, Ohio at the National Air Force Museum. First drone event. Wow, that's going to be cool. I didn't hear about that. That's going to be some really cool footage. Damn. Okay. It's 9 o'clock. We already did the main thing that I wanted to cover here. We opened up the HGLRC areolas. I'm actually going to put them back in the box here. Areolas. Why would they name it Aeolus? Why would they do that to us? There we go. 2 more coming from Cyclone FPV. I also asked Cyclone FPV if I could get in the order note. I asked them if I could get on their affiliate program. So that'd be pretty cool. It looks like they have an affiliate program. They're a good shop. Cyclone FPV has some really hard to find stuff. You know what they have? They have a whole bunch of QX7 stuff that not many other people do. So if you have a QX7 and you need like some replacement switches, or there's a bunch of other stuff. Yeah, Cyclone FPV has got you covered. Hey, speaking of Patreon, over on the Patreon, I put a poll up a week or 2 ago, and I asked, what is your transmitter M3 or M4 on the gimbals? And more people said M4 than M3, which made me very happy because the QX7 is M4. This is referencing the thickness of the shaft coming out of the gimbal. M4 is bigger than M3, right? So the reason that I did that is I'm playing around with different stick ends, and I figured what I would do is order one of every single stick end available, try them all out, pick my favorite, replace whatever my favorite is so that I have a full kit of these again, and then send that kit to somebody on Patreon, and then they do the same thing, and then they send it to somebody else, and then they do the same thing, and they send it to somebody else. Admittedly, I'm going to start with the patrons that are the highest tiers, right? But, it should be able to move, this little pack should be able to move around pretty quickly. It shouldn't take too long to figure out which ones you like the best. So I've already been collecting some of them. So far, I've got a set of the TBS, I don't know, honey ball or some shit. These ones. It's a kit. You get both of these. So I've got these guys, and then I've got these STPs, which are the ones that I have been using. And then I got these. These are like rubbery, yo. These are like kind of nice. Like they're cushy. They're like very slightly rubbery. So yeah, I'm using these right now to just kind of play around with them. I need your guys' help though. I primarily order from Race Day Quads, Get FPV, Pyro Drone, not in that order. If there's another website that has stick ends that you know of, let me know. Because I want to try them. And I don't necessarily want to go to every single FPV website and search for their stick ends. So yeah, over on the let's do this. I'm gonna make a text channel on the Discord. What kind of a dick joke can I make with stick ends? Should I call it dick ends? I'm gonna call it dick ends. There is this is gonna be Patreon only. Dick ends. What is the matter with me? Private channel. Yes. Next. Alright, so that is patrons and Patreon royalty. Create channel. There is now a Dickens text channel. That looks weird. That looks very weird. Channel topic. I'm buying one of every M4 stick end and to find my favorite, and then I'll send the rest to find my favorite. I'll replace that favorite and then send the kit to a patron for them to do the same thing. That makes sense, right? And on etc. There we go. All right, cool. So we've got a Dickens channel. We've got a Dickens text channel, boys. This is a big accomplishment in my life. I always wanted a dick end. What the hell? What the Sam Hill? What in the hell going on? Doot and doot 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 and doot 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 doot. Abraham says, hard to recall specifics, but I do know that even with no plugs and the shortened wires, it was less than a gram saved with my brushed builds. Yeah, I was expecting like a 2 gram weight savings or something like that. I was very disappointed. FPV Trucker says, Cyclone is out of the 0802 25,000 kV. Well, there you go. It's very hard to find 0802 25,000s right now. But the happy models are in stock. Why am I so bright? What is happening? Why is it so goddamn bright in here? Don't clip that. Oh, we're not on Twitch. You can't. That's much better. How long has it been like this? Come on, man, go. This RF remote control for this LED light sucks a big bag of donkeys. No, don't get brighter. Try again later. Glenn Burnett says, always comparing shafts. Kevin Sumner says, I may have a bunch of the M3 thumb grippies I can send you. Yeah, I mean, I guess if you guys have M3 thumbsticks, you can go ahead and send them, and in the kit will be both M4s and M3s. I'm not gonna There's a lot of thumbstick things out there. I don't really want to. By doing M4 only, it kind of thins it out a little bit, both from my bank account standpoint and the number of people that this kit can go to. So yeah, but if you guys send me M3 ones, I'll put them in there, you know. Glitchy called Dickens. Probably right at about the same time that I was saying it. Jackalope says beef knob kebab. B-Man says, so you're just testing the tips? Glenn Burnett says, if this doesn't warrant hitting that like button, I don't know what does. Chomper FPV says, Faceballs at dick ends. This stream has it all. Oh my god, you guys are putting a ton in the dick ends channel. Hey, oh, okay. Alright, yeah, it says it up there. I typed that description and I thought it deleted it, but no, it's up there. Hold on, let me do this though. Could you, can you just, all right, can I like pin this? Is there a way to like pin message? There we go. Yes, pin it. Okay, cool. 20 after 9, we got plenty of time. What? Let's fly this Mobula 7 ELRS, and then we'll get into the boring bench work. Hey, no! But first, I went to Best Buy today, and they fucked me! I brought him my broken Hero 8, and I said, give me a new one, please. And they said, no. We're going to have to send it out. And so if you didn't know, GoPro's Best Buy's policy used to be you pay $30-something for the Geek Squad protection plan, and you break your GoPro, you walk in, you say, give me another one. They give you another one, you walk out. A few months ago, they changed the policy, just willy-nilly, to be, you give us your broken GoPro and we send it out, and 2 to 3 weeks later, it comes back. But this is not the case at all Best Buys. But apparently it is the case at mine now, at my local one. Next time I have to swap one out, I'm going to go to a different Best Buy. I'm going to try different Best Buys. But, so I said, that's not what I put, basically to the, jackass normal person behind the counter. I said, that's not what I was sold. I was sold a service that is, when I come in, I walk out the door with a working GoPro. And he's like, I can't do anything about it. I was like, all right, let me see your managers. And I explained that to the manager. And the manager was like, there's nothing I can do about it. But why don't you just buy the Hero? They had one Hero 8 there. He said, why don't you just buy this Hero 8? And I'll write my name on the receipt. And I'll write a little explanation on the receipt. Send yours off. When yours comes back, you just return this new Hero 8 that you're going to buy. And I was like, dude, I get it, but this is insane. Is it just me, or is that the dumbest thing ever? And he's like, yeah, it's the dumbest thing ever, but it's all I can do for you. So I said, okay, and I did it. I'm actually, I might actually keep this Hero 8 because it's pretty insane that I've been doing. It's completely insane that I've been doing all of these gigs with only one GoPro. Not having a backup GoPro has kind of, I don't know why I didn't realize this sooner. I'm sure I realized it at some point, but they're expensive. So yeah, I might actually just keep this second Hero 8, but I don't know. The ability to walk into a Best Buy and just buy another. I think the reason that I never did this to have two is because, yeah, you can just, there's Best Buys everywhere. And you just walk in and you get another one and you're good to go. So, yeah, I don't know. I have a couple of weeks to decide. But there's your workaround. If that happens to you, do what I did. Just be like, because it's true, you know? Like, when I paid for the Geek Squad thing 8 months ago, 9 months ago, 10 months ago, whenever it was, the service that they were selling me was, you know what I mean, one thing, and now they've just completely changed that, and that's bullshit. So don't let them get away with that. Yell and scream. You won't have to yell and scream. But worst case scenario, yeah, just tell them, like, look, I need this thing tonight. You sold me a service that should give me one tonight. You need to let me buy another one and write a note on the receipt saying that I'm going to return it. The other thing that you can try is that you just bash the living hell out of your GoPro 8. Mine just had like a slightly cracked lens on the front. So yeah, maybe that's the trick. Next time I have to do this, I'm just gonna like run the damn thing over. Because the Geek Squad protection covers physical damage, and you know, you're using your GoPro in a moving car and it slips out of your hand and it gets run over. That's physical damage, right? So yeah, I'm gonna give that a shot next time at my local Best Buy, I think. Or maybe I'll just go to a different one, I don't know. It doesn't bother me how bright this is. My face is all blown out. Hey, there we go. Is there a camera setting that's... Will this adjust the aperture on the fly? Of course not. Where's that aperture button on the back? Is it that one? Hold on, let's see. Is it this one? Nope. Is it this one? Nope. Where's the multifunction button? Oh, it's down there. It's down there. It's that one down there. I used to know this camera so well. God damn you. Ever watch a man die live on stream? Tonight's the night. Oh, do it later. It's hot in Atlanta, yo. Hot. Hot up in here. What's that about? Let me launch EOS utility. I don't think it'll... Nah, it won't let me. Oh, it's because it's... Wait, what? What mode is this on? It's on aperture priority. No wonder. It needs to be on manual. Hey! There we go! Oh, now it's not enough. That's why it was brighter. How did the camera get switched to aperture priority? That was weird. Hey, that's better. That's better. What is this? Is that this? Yeah. Okay. makes me happier. I'm happier now. Isn't that nice? Okay. A little bit more. There we go. That's the stuff. Let me get caught up on chat. Oh boy. Oh boy. But Glenn Burnett says, can we do a fund for both M3 and M4? Yeah. We're going to replace the frame development fund. I'm just going to take a guess at $200, and we're going to call this the Dick and call this the M3 Dick End Fund. Dick / stick end. No, we gotta do it the other way. Stick / dick end fund. Stick. No, even better. Stick and dick end fund. There we go. That takes on a whole. Oh, that becomes way more confusing. Oh shit. Whitmead says, "Did you wear?" Oh god, I did not. B-Man says, "Takes about a week. It's been like that for me ever since last year." That sounds terrible, B-Man. Halfboard says, "It's like a movie pass. Too good to be true." Adrian Glessner says, "Why don't you use a GoPro 10? Money or features?" There's been a lot of complaints about the GoPro 10 over sharpening, and I forget the other. Most of the high-end drone houses prefer the Hero 8 over the Hero 10. I love that the Hero 10 has 4K 60 and 2.7K 120, but it's also heavier. So yeah, it's heavier, it's more expensive, and I just keep hearing complaints about the Hero 10, which kind of sucks. So what's really annoying is I bought a whole bunch of Hero 9/10 mounts when the 10 first came out because I got all excited, and then all of a sudden I started seeing videographers talking shit on the Hero 10, saying that they like the 8 better. So yeah, annoying, very, very annoying. I'm still very tempted. If they had a Hero 10 today, I might have gotten it. I was thinking about it. B-Man says, "You should have multiple 8s. It's really not that durable. Most of the ones I bring back look fine from the outside." I've actually had pretty good luck with the 8s in terms of durability. I don't fly them freestyle, though. So, yeah, I mean, they're not really getting smashed. For freestyle, it's session 5s all day for me. Veritas Weasel says, "Hey, bud, don't crash that GoPro into a brick wall. You might have a rough time exchanging it for the one that you own that's fixed." Yeah. Well, no, actually, I got the... I said to the guy, I was like, "Look, this one that I'm buying, if I break it tomorrow, I need it to be covered." So he was like, "All right, well, we'll do the protection plan on this new one, and then I'll refund you on that protection plan when you come back." So, yeah, I'll be fine. It's a good call, though. Ram Donko says, "Thumb and gyro flow equals latest..." I can't pronounce that word, which does appeal. Thumb and gyro flow? What do you mean? What's thumb? What's the thumb in there for? Thumb. Monodixon says, "Am I forever cursed to buy the ones nobody likes? I had a 7, now a 9. I guess I should wait and not get a 10. To be honest, I think these videographers are splitting hairs, but the 10 is pretty expensive, and it is heavier, so I don't know. I don't like to buy GoPros when they're the current one because they're just so much expensive. They're so much more expensive. If you can wait until there's a brand new model, usually you save $100. So I always try to get the ones that are 1 or 2 generations old just to save money. It's not that much money, but it is to me. Most people, it's not that much money, but to me it is. Let's fly. So this is the Mobula 7 with all the upgrades. This is pretty similar to Infinity Loop's preferred setup. And he is a hell of a pilot. So if you build your Mobula 7 ELRS out like this, it'll be famous. Won't be famous. It'll just be, you know, a representation of one of the best possible tiny whoop setups. But like I said earlier, I really think that 65 mil is the way to go. It just performs better and it's lighter. And there's more selection of parts. I'm going to fly the slightly higher internal resistance battery first. Hey, by the way, one of the only problems with this Mobula 7 ELRS V4 frame is that the batteries don't fit in there super tight, and they can kind of slip out the front or the back if you crash it just right. I tried to rotate the frame 90 degrees. So that when I nose it into stuff, the battery won't shoot out the front or the back. You can't. It just doesn't work. The frame interferes with the plugs. You just can't do it. Don't waste your time trying to do it. Learn from me. Hey, look, I got a Naminmo 2.4 ELRS antenna. Look at that. It's purple, like my dick. Sorry. I had to. Okay, here we go. Time to try to break it some more. Why is just the one screen so dirty? How does that even happen? Hold on, let me do this so I can see. Oh my god, that's so much better. With analog, it's hard to tell if your screens and your Fat Sharks are dirty. Oh boy, or if it's just analog. So, I was kind of wondering about this. I moved the motors all around, and I was wondering if so when you buy motors, sometimes some of them will have red wires and some of them will have black wires. But then when you buy replacement motors, you don't get that same option. And so I kind of thought like, oh, well, they're just making the motor wires different colors for funsies. But apparently not. Apparently it does make a difference. So I got to get, these motors are spinning the wrong direction right now. So let me fix it super quick like. Oh, shit. Am I going to be able to fix this in beta flight? Yeah, I will be able to fix it in beta flight. I'm going to... So it's not a reorder situation. It's a directionality thing. Motor 1. Is the wrong direction. Oh, I also put the props on wrong. What a donkey. I'm just gonna run this thing props in. No, I'm not gonna do that. Hold on, let me get the... props on correctly. I was gonna move the motors in one direction, and then I changed my mind, and I moved the motors in another direction, and then that made the props be on wrong. So let me just fix this first, and then maybe it'll be all set. But I think I actually need to. I don't think this is actually going to fix it. I think I also need to spin the motors in a different direction. I think some of these motors are spinning in the wrong direction, is what I'm trying to say. Come on, come off of there. These bi-blades are so easy to get on and off these motors compared to tri and quad blades. It's really nice. Okay, now let's see what's up. Just gonna do this. All right, thrusting, thrusting, not thrusting, not thrusting. Motors 3 and 4 are wrong. So we're gonna go in here and motor direction, understand the risks individually, 3, reverse, 3. I think that's correct now. 4. Is wrong. We're going to reverse it. 4. Now it's correct. We're going to close this. Thrust, 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 thrust. Huzzah! Never, ever, ever do that on anything bigger than like a toothpick or a tiny whoop. You'll die! I hope that just saved. I assume that saves when you close the little wizard. I assume that you don't have to also hit the save button. We're about to find out though. La 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 la! Alright, little boy. You gonna fly now? You're gonna be a dick. Here we go. Mobula 7 ELRS with... Oh. Fat Shark's got all humid being on my head. Mobula 7 ELRS with the CiottiFPV upgrade path complete. Let's smash. Come on. There it is. Come on. All right, let's give this a second to cool down. That's why it's all foggy. The camera and the VTX are upset. Ooh, ah! So as you can see, it does make decent power. Ready? Oh boy. Hold on. Ready? Oh boy. Not on my games today. Try to give you guys that throw properly. Big throw. So I mean, it's got power. It's just heavy. These 0802 25,000s really mix well with these Gemfan bi-blades. But the rig is just heavy. The 65 mil rigs are just lighter. Oh, come on now. You can do lots of... You can do lots of... Oh boy, I'm in the sink. You can do lots of three-dimensional sort of moves with this. But for me, I end up crashing a lot because of the extra weight. The lighter weight 65 millimeter rigs just get me out of trouble more often. So I've got crash prevention turned on this one. I always want to do that wall ride, but it's really difficult. This is also me flying these big fat round rubber dick ends. Yeah, see that? See how it just continued to slide out and it hit this bag? That's the kind of thing that doesn't happen with the 65. See, look at that. Like, see, it doesn't stop. It just continues to slide around. And I don't like that. Because from like a freestyle standpoint, like sure, you can just dig it into a corner. You know, like when you come over here, you can just and dig it in to kill that momentum. But I don't want to do that. Like, I want to let it slide and not have to add roll or pitch to fix that. Because when you add pitch and roll to fix that, it looks like a correction. Because it is a correction, right? Yeah, it's just not my favorite. So there you can see the runtime, 3 minutes and 50. That's a lot. Oh, that's the on time. So the actual runtime's a little bit less than that. I gotta fix this. I gotta fix this OSD one of these days. Yeah, good runtime even on these smaller batteries. The big thing though is that these smaller batteries are quite a bit lighter than the 450s. These GNB 380s are pretty awesome. So that was actually the better battery. This is the battery that I've been a little bit more mean to. You guys have seen me fly this Mobula 7 in this configuration a bunch though. So there's nothing here that you haven't seen before. Little bit of prop wash at the end of that, but I mean it was as if I was trying to get it to prop wash. That's just not a situation that happens. I wanted to do a Matty on that, but I kind of panicked because that's right above the sink. Oh. Ah! MSG, the king of flavor. There it is. There it is, friends. MSG, king of flavor. Maggie got me that for Christmas. That's an Uncle Roger joke. If you don't know who Uncle Roger is, welcome to the rest of your night. Just search for Uncle Roger here on YouTube. You're going to love it. Ooh, we're pinballing. Oh! Yeah, this rig, like, I crash a lot as it is, but with this rig, I really crash a lot. See that? Like, it slid right into the outside of the wall there. I'm just not, you know, some of it is because I'm not used to it. I'm used to the lighter weight rigs. So if I put a whole bunch of time into this rig, yes, I would probably get used to it, but still, it's heavier. And a heavier rig is going to slide more, and you're going to have to dig it more into turns. And digging into turns is, to me, not a super cinematic kind of look. Like it's just a better look to just throw the corner and let the weight naturally, let the lower weight naturally slow the rig down, so that you don't have to put additional inputs in. Got it. Knocked it down. See that? Like, I probably wouldn't have hit that leg. I was trying to corner it and avoid that. But that was just me being shit. Admittedly. And this battery is hosed. So there you guys go. There's the Mobula 7 ELRS with the CiottiFPV approved. Man, right-handed orbits are so much more difficult. With the CiottiFPV approved upgrade path. It flies good. Don't get me wrong. It totally flies good, but there's better. And I would rather fly the better. You know what I mean? Let's do a little bit of bench work, and then we'll wrap it up for the night. 9:46, we got a little bit of time left. I can maybe get one of these motors done. And then just, you know, pretend like I'm doing 3 more. Thurberg 2500 says, I just turned the canopy 90 degrees and remapped the motors and flight controller orientation. Works great, no more batteries coming out. Why the hell didn't I do that? Of course. Wow. There you go. Thank you, Thurberg. Yeah, that's how you do it. So there's the last upgrade that you should do to your Mobula 7 ELRS is just take the canopy, rotate it 90 degrees, go into beta flight, rotate the board 90 degrees. You'll have to switch the props because they'll be set up for props in at that point. Thank God for chat, man. You guys cover my ass when I don't realize silly things. Okay, so I'm going to use these. So there's two choices here. I can either direct solder these 0802 motors, which won't be that big of a deal in this frame because they will fit through the holes in the frame. The 0802s, that is. 0803s don't. Well, maybe these actually won't. Hold on. No, they will. They will. So I could technically direct solder these, but what I was thinking I would do is, since they put the little tiny PCB on the bottom of these motors, I can just solder on a set of these JST 1.0 motor plugs, and then they'll plug directly into the newbie drone AIO. Now I'm kind of second guessing which direction I want to go with this. I'm gonna do the motor plugs. It's just, I just don't think there's enough loss to really warrant direct soldering. And like, having motor plugs really does make it so much easier to work on these things. Hold on, I'm just thinking about this in my head. Yeah, let's just do it. Let's just do it. We're just gonna swap the motor wires out. I wish I'd done this on the other tiny lifter. All right, soldering iron is coming on. Set to 710 degrees. A little hot, but you know, I've been working out. Hey-oh! Sorry, guys. That was a strained one. I'll get them. Next one will be better. Next one will be better. I promise. Okay. Here we go. So I've drilled a couple holes in this. Oh my God! There was a huge blob of solder on the tip of this soldering iron that just transferred. Jesus, what the hell? Hold on. Let me just break it off. Once it's... Hey, there it goes. Okay. That was wild. Alright. I didn't clean it quite good enough to get the rest of that solder off. Okay, so let's see how this goes. One is done. This actually should not be. This shouldn't be too bad. Okay, yeah, this is gonna be fine. This is not a nightmare. Any other questions you guys have? Drop them on in the chat. Got about another, what, 15 minutes or so? Yeah. 10, 15 more minutes to this Whoop Wednesday live stream. Hope you guys have enjoyed. I aim to please, after all. Do keep in mind this is my full-time job, and I rely on support from beautiful people like you to keep on going. If you join my Patreon, I promise you will get way more than the $3 to $5 a month it's going to cost you to join it. $3 if you just want to get in. 5 or 10 or 15 if you want to do a little bit of gambling and enter into the every other Monday giveaways that I do. Typically a little over $100 worth of stuff, sometimes closer to $200 or even $300 worth of stuff every single Monday without fail. I'm sorry, every other every other Monday rather. Every other Monday. Jesus. Slipping. What's up, CMYK? What's up, Coil Locker? Reading the Wind says, what motors did you save for that Cinesplorer? Oh, God. Reed, thank you for the reminder. Boys and girls, there's a chance that, okay, yeah, we're going to put this aside. I'm going to do this on my time. Just pretend like I just did that. I might have found a motor so most of you guys know I have not had like the perfect motor for the Cinesplorer. I might have found it. RC and Power makes a GTS V3 2105 3600 kV. I wish it was a 2005 or a 2104, but it's still pretty lightweight. Let's weigh it compared to one of the Brother Hobby VY motors, which are currently... Well, so the Brother Hobby VY 2004 has been discontinued. There's a green version of it, but I'm kind of sort of boycotting Brother Hobby at the moment because they were pretty shitty with Kebab. So I've been looking for a different motor. Newbie Drone made a higher kV version of their 2004, which I have on the other Cinesplorer up there, which is pretty damn good. I'm pretty impressed by that motor, but it's still a little too low of a kV. 2004 is the right stator size, in my opinion, but 3000, 3100 kV is still a little bit too low of a kV. So, yeah, these 3600s fix the kV issue, but unfortunately they're a bigger stator. But they're very light. So, god damn it, do I really not have an extra 2004? Say it ain't so. Hold on. I have to have an extra motor somewhere. Let's check the flight bag here. This is my little thing of extra motors. That's the extra Pro 4. Jesus, I only have one extra Pro 4. Here we go. Here's an extra of the Newbie Drone motors. Yeah, alright, so we're going to weigh this one. The Brother Hobby VY can suck it. It's, yeah, Brother Hobby can go straight to hell. Let's take a look here. Newbie drone motor first. Here's the other thing I like about this RC and Power motor. It's not T-mount. These 2004s being T-mount is okay, but it's not the best. I prefer a non-T-mount motor. So Newbie Drone 2004 is sitting at 17 grams. And this RC and Power is a little bit longer wires. Oh, farts. 22.7. Wow, that's really heavy. I didn't realize that was so heavy. Why did I think that was lighter? I think it's just lighter than a bunch of the others, but Jesus, this is... So, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 5... So that's 20 extra grams all up. Okay. Damn. What? Why did I think these were light? 22.7. Well, let's try this. Let me put the prop nut on. And then I'll put a couple of M2x7 screws with this. This is a much more fair comparison. So with the prop nut, 23.2. And then... So 23.2 versus... Jesus, this Newbie drone motor is really light. Yeah, I mean, that makes up the gap a little bit, but still. 23.2 versus 17.4. Damn. Alright, well, I still don't have a favorite Cinesplore motor. Although, I don't know, these Newbie drone... I think my favorite is these Newbie drones, but I don't know if they sell them on their website. The reason why I did that, the two M2x7, the reason why I added the screws in, two M2x7 screws is 0.6 of a gram versus one aluminum prop nut doesn't even register on the scale. It's probably like 0.1 or maybe 0.2. Although that just said a half a gram. Half a gram. Really? I thought the M2x7s were a little heavier. Okay, I was wrong. I really do like that this is M5, an M5 nut motor, because that allows you to use the HQ 8-blade props. And I've been dying to try those out and see if they might be a little bit quieter. They're definitely... I'm pretty sure that they're not more thrusty than the Gemfan 5 blades, but I'm just dying to... I mean, you guys know me. I love testing all the things. Damn. That's a fat bottom girl. This is an awful lot of motor wire, though. Look at that. This will certainly lighten up once this this motor wire is kind of cut down. Let's take a quick look here. Let me chop a bunch of this motor wire off. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have to cut it really close to the stator. So let's see. What is this? I've been meaning to weigh motor wire. The 23mm FPV cycle motors are great, but they're pretty heavy, and they're just a lot. I've had those on one of these rigs before, and it was like too much. It was too much motor. Look at that. That's 2 grams of wire. 2.1. No, 2 grams of wire. Okay. The motor wires on that Newbie drone motor are like hilariously thin. So that makes a big difference. That brings this thing down to 20.6, 21 grams with the nut. 20, 20.6 without it. Okay. All right. So yeah, I'm gonna run these. I'm gonna put these on the primary Cinewoop actually, because these Brother Hobby VY motors, I don't like them. The shafts are starting to slip slowly but surely, and you can't get replacements since they're discontinued. Like, this is the last set. Oh God! So yeah, I would rather be running the Newbie Drone motors than these Brother Hobby motors. So I'm gonna swap these on, and we'll see what's what. Well, you know, since I'm gonna swap them on, let me do this. Let me. I really do want to weigh one of these Brother Hobby VY motors. So let's pop one of them off, and then that'll force me to put the new motors on. Is the other thing that'll do. Glenn Burnett says, M3 dick ends. This reminds me of Top Gear BMW dick gauge back in the day. Yeah. Quad Killa says, my Brother Hobby 2005 3450 KV are awesome. Switch from the VY 2004. Yeah, I've almost bought those a bunch of times, but I'm really trying to not support Brother Hobby because of how dickish they were with Kebab. Reading the Wind says, oh my god, Aerolite has a 3500. They do. That's what I have on my 250 here. The problem is the wires exit 45 degrees different. So if you put these Aerolites on a Cinesplore, the motor wires would come out at a 45 degree angle, and it would just look absurd. It would also like impede the thrust. So there is like a realistic. Yeah, it wouldn't be good. It wouldn't be good. All right, got some flux going here. Let's just real quick pop one of these Brother Hobby VY motors off, because I think this might be even lighter than the Newbie Drone motor. All right. And come on. Man, I just inhaled a big old breath of solder fumes. I'm usually better about not breathing in when there's a huge cloud of fumes in front of me, but just wasn't paying attention, I guess. Come on. I don't know why I'm doing this before unbolting the motor, but hey, I'm here. Okay, let's unbolt this and put it on a scale. See what's going on. All right. Hey, those Brother Hobby 2005s, are those M5 mount or are those T mount? If they're M5 mount, I might just suck it up and buy them. Because at this point, I just want both of these Cinesplores on the exact same motors. And I keep thinking like, oh, somebody will come out with a 3500 kV 2004 one of these days. Oh, Jesus. That says 14.2 grams. Oh my God, is that light. 14.2 grams versus 20. Oh God, 20.6. Oh my God. I remember these Brother Hobby VYs being light, but good Lord, is that light. Wow. That kind of changes things. Anybody want a set of RC and Power 2105s? Damn it. Okay. 14.3. What? Oh, boy. Let's look up those 2005s and see what they weigh. 14 point something. Good God, is that light? I really don't want the extra stator volume, but you know, Brother Hobby 2005. There they are. That's right. Yeah, I remember those. You can get there are a couple places that have the VY 2004s in stock, but they don't have the high KV in stock. I need this. I need the 3150 kV. Damn it. Yeah, this 2100 kV does me no good. Although, you know, I'll if I decide to stay with these Brother Hobby VYs, I will buy one of these 2100s just for the bell. Yeah, see that the CiottiFPV only has the 1700 kV in stock. Last time I went digging around the internet, I just straight up could not find these VYs in the 3150 kV anywhere. Let's look at these 2005s. They are 12 by 12 metal. Yeah, so this 3450 kV, man, is that perfect. Jesus, these are expensive. 20 bucks a motor. My God. All right, let's see. What do they weigh? I've looked at these motors so many times. Here we go. Weight 21.01. Jesus, that's with the cable, so that'll come down to like 19 or so. But god damn, that's still really heavy. I think I'm gonna stay with the Brother Hobby VYs, to be honest. Let me see what the FPV Cycle 23s weigh. 23mm short. Ooh, they switched them over to a to the shafty bit. Let's see. 17 grams. Oh, okay. 17 grams with 80 millimeters worth of wire. What? I thought they were heavier than that. Hold on. Let me see. I have one floating around. Here's one. This is the old 2203. Reed, you should just go with these. Just go with these FPV Cycle motors because they've got the new shaft setup, which is really nice. It'll let you run T-mount. Oh no, look at that, 17.7 with shortened wires. So they did lighten them up. Yeah. Damn. I might be switching over to FPV Cycle motors, to be honest with you guys. 17 grams ain't bad, especially compared to 20. Damn, dude. I was not paying attention. I got so excited and ordered these. 20.6. Yeah, this is too much. This is more I think a 2105 is actually more stator volume than these FPV Cycle 23s. And we've got the same 3450 kV. Jesus. Okay. Wow. All right. Well, all right. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. And yeah, you can just use that included little spacer to go M5 on these guys. Damn. Okay. Well, you know. Nothing like not doing your homework and just taking it right up the ass for it. Jesus. But for this rig, I'm going to put this Brother Hobby motor back on it. I'm going to put the... oh, no. So here's the deal. I'm now remembering... when I had the... When I first built the two Cinesplores, I had this one. So I have two of them. One of them with a 5-degree mount, the other one with a 15-degree mount. So one of them's for faster, the other one's slower. This is the first one that I built, and I put it on these Brother Hobby VY motors because they were nice and light. And I loved it. And then I built the second one on the 15-degree mount, and I put it on the FPV Cycle motors. And between the two rigs, they flew very different. The FPV Cycle motors flew very, very different than the Brother Hobby VYs. They had way more power. The hover point was in a different spot. And the rig was considerably heavier. Felt considerably heavier. So... now I don't know. What I really don't like about these Brother Hobby VY motors is the shaft slip. But my God, are they light? 14 point something grams? That's like shockingly light. I'm gonna have to think about it. Both of these do need to come apart though, because they're gonna get DJI put in them probably next week. Maybe the week after. So, be a good time to swap the motors if I decide to change. Damn. Yeah, I gotta think about that. I really don't want this. I'm really happy with the weight of this rig, and it has plenty of power. Probably gonna keep it on the VYs. If any of you guys can find the 3150 kV Brother Hobby VY 2004 motors somewhere, I'll send you a sticker. Gotta be in stock though, because if I can find these motors in that kV, I'll buy a bunch of them, and then you know. When the shafts slip, it's whatever. God damn it. I can't believe I didn't... What I did when I was buying these RC and Power motors is I just compared them to a bunch of the other 2004s that are out there. And I forgot how much lighter the VYs are. So... that sucks a big bag of donkeys. Let's get caught up on chat, and I'm going to end this live stream so that I can sit on the couch watch The Expanse and ponder the future motor selection of the Cinesplore fleet. Quadkilla says, got a set of the VYS in 3150 kV that I'll send your way if you can use them. Oh my God, Quadkilla. I will pay you for those, dude. That's well, as long as they're fresh. They cannot have been crashed. For the Cinesplores, I need absolutely perfect, spotless, like never crashed motors. Although I'll still take them even if they have been crashed, because the stator and the base will be fine. And I can just buy these lower KV ones to get my hands on a bunch of the bells. Steady Eddie says, I'm running Stan FPV 2203, 3390 KV, 5mm shaft, 19.7 grams. The wire probably comes down to 17 with wires cut. 2203. Yeah, I mean, at that point, I would rather do the FPV cycle motors. They're pretty much the same weight. That's interesting, though. Oh, right, Stan FPV. I mean, those motors are just the FPV cycle motors, just in a different color. Reed says, Race Day has the TC 2004 3100 KV in stock. Get them. I don't think so, Reed. To be honest, I'm nuts about weight. I think the FPV cycle motors, the current FPV cycle motors, are the way to go, because it's got the M3 motor shaft, and then it's got the M5 adapter, and they're a known quantity. 3450 kV is going to give you plenty of power. One of my fears is with these Brother Hobby VYs is that when they're carrying a Hero 8, they have just barely enough power. Not just barely enough power. They have enough power. But when I move this up to a Hero 10, they might not have quite enough power. The FPV Cycle 23mm short motors, you never have to worry about that. Like, they're always going to have enough power. So they're not that much heavier. So yeah. Interesting. Quadkilla says they're fresh, no crashes. Oh my god, dude, that's amazing. I will... Man, 14 grand... Yeah, I can't justify... I know from 14 to 17 grams doesn't sound like much, but I'm a crazy person. Just be okay with that. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. And then I can have both Cinesplores on these really light motors. Coilocker says Cinesplore frame is back in stock. Thanks for calling that out. Quadkilla says, oh, we got that. Richard says, Newbie Drone has the Brother Hobby TC 2004 3150 kV motors in stock. I think they're a little heavier. I think those TC motors are a little bit heavier. Grizz says, later, man, I'll probably have it shipped out next week, bro. Sounds good. Ramdanko says, rewatching The Expanse Season 1 Who Said episodes, CiottiFPV, Russ and Ante. Yeah, I'm rewatching it. I'm in the 6th season for the second time. Really good. Really good show the second time through, too. All right, guys. I'm going to contemplate Cinesplores for a while here. But yeah, Quadkilla, I will definitely take those motors, dude. Let me know what I owe you. Thank you. If anybody else, I would still like to get... So Quadkilla's, I assume 4, are going to go on the other Cinesplore. And then I still want some extras. So if anybody manages to find the old school Brother Hobby VY 2004s... in 3150 kV in stock somewhere, let me know, because I'm gonna I want some extras. All right, friends, love you, be good. Here comes some flying with some copyright free music. I'll see you guys on Friday at 7 o'clock. I don't know what we're gonna do, but I know we're gonna have fun doing it. What do you think about that? Hold on, I gotta restart. No, I don't. Look at that. OBS didn't shit the bed this time. That's weird. All right, people. Be good. I'll see you Wednesday. CiottiFPV.com if you want to see these live streams continue. And away we go. Later.